Henri Matisse was born in 1869 in a small town in France. His parents owned a general store and wanted Henri to take over the family business, but Henri decided to become a lawyer instead. At age of 20, he got very sick and had to be admitted to the hospital. His mother bought him a box of paints, and from that day on, Henri decided to be an artist. He's called the King of Color. He recognized that color played a big part in how we perceive life. Later in life, Matisse developed cancer and was bedridden. He still created art in his bed by using a bamboo stick tipped with chalk. He drew on the ceiling. He also started cutting out shapes with scissors and called this art form drawing with scissors. As we take a look at his painting, The Goldfish, in 1912, it might be one of his most famous fauve paintings ever. He was influenced by Japanese art during this time. So let's go ahead and get started making our own fauvist art painting influenced by the artwork of Henri Matisse's goldfish paintings. Begin with your drawing sheet. It'll help you get started as you begin making your goldfish container. A goldfish container isn't really flat. It has lots of ellipses to make the project. So I begin with an oval, another oval down low, and an oval to make it look like water is sitting in the bowl. I drew another ellipse for the table and legs for the table stand. Once you've got this basic outline started, grab some paint to get started on painting your fish bowl. I added a little bit of white when my paint was still wet to my bowl to make it look like water. You can use whatever color you want for your background because the fauve artists were interested in lots of bright colors. So as you get started on this painting today, I encourage you to use interesting colors to fill up your background, and please leave little to no white. In fact, we want to fill this up with lots of bright, interesting, and fun colors. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting my background, the ground, the table, and the wall. I hope you have fun today painting your background inspired by Henri Matisse. Now, we're going to start thinking about our background that we're going to use to fill up the space and make it interesting. I want you to think about making some leaves, some flowers, and some organic shapes that have strong lines. Remember, organic shapes are items that you can find in nature. So we're going to be creating a lot of organic shapes, items that you would see in nature. Not a lot of hard edge, but more realistic type things that are living. So I went ahead and I sketched in some goldfish, some leaves, and now I'm moving into some flowers. I thought it'd be interesting to make a lot of flowers and also have them in a variety of colors. So 2 blue, 3 pink, and I'm also going to take a Sharpie and outline so that you can see my next couple of steps. I'm going to make more than just 5 flowers. I really want my background to be filled with really interesting designs and those organic shapes, images that you would see in nature. The other thing that Matisse did a really nice job of is repeating patterns. So rather than just having one or different kinds of things, I'm going to use the same shape with a variety of colors because I want that same shape repeated again and again. Shapes that are interesting and shapes that are, again, very organic. Once you've sketched in these items, you'll notice that I'm taking some oil pastels and I'm adding some more colors to it and outlining it with a black pastel. I think that this sharp black outline, after I get the colors put on, really intensifies the color really makes it look more like a cutout that Matisse is famous for, and it makes it really pleasing to the eye. Instead of it just being one color, let's try getting some oil pastels in some of the same color patterns, warm or cold, and just adding some more creative and interesting colors so that it's not just such a solid plain color. I already love the way this is looking. Once you have your flowers drawn, colored, outlined, go ahead and grab some scissors and you can start to cut these out and start arranging them on top of your painting. Now that I've got my shapes cut out, let's go back to our painting now that it's dry and grab that black oil pastel to give it some intense lines and outlines so that it really makes these colors pop out and come to life. Once you take your black oil pastel, you might even add a little bit of white to make it look like it's really shining glass. I think that this makes the project really look more realistic. Take your black, add in an outline, make any patterns or designs that you want before you go on to grabbing your construction paper and assembling that together.